Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm frontman of the band Drella.
Hi, I'm Toby. I'm the bassist in the band Drella.
Mostly, I'm the drummer in the band Drella.
We've been friends, three of us, for quite a long time now, since 2008 we met.
Yeah.
And then we played little bits of music here and there during that time, but never really got anything off the ground, never got anything going. Then me and Toby went to uni, disappeared. Alfie stayed around here, and we kind of didn't really talk for like a good sort of 4 or 5 years. And then after we came back from uni, we sort of got back together, had one sort of last throw of the dice at forming a band, seeing what we could do. Then COVID hit. We got absolutely nowhere. We got no gigs. We got nothing recorded for about 2 years. And then after COVID, it was kind of like, what can we do now? How can we kind of take this forward? So we did a bit of a rebrand. Drella was born. We got a couple of songs written, recorded. Everything since then has kind of been quite positive. You know, people have been enjoying the music. The gigs have been kind of coming quite often, and yeah, everything's been going quite well. So hopefully it should continue that way. In Bradford in particular, Bradford I find is quite surprising because it's quite a small city and it doesn't have a lot of venues, but those venues are all really good, and the bands that are playing there are really good as well. And there seems to be a lot of bands to say that it's such a small city, you know, compared to somewhere like Manchester or London, for instance. So there's quite a lot of bands coming through in Bradford that are all doing quite well, and that's really nice.
Yeah, and I think because as you were saying, with it being a lot smaller than Leeds and Manchester, you don't get the same. You would think you would get the same rivalry kind of concept, but you don't. It's like a bit of a community, a massive support network amongst all the bands, and not necessarily just within the same genre. You've got like other bands like Red Shakes that are like very indie. You've got like Rupture Farms who are much heavier than we are, and we kind of like do a lot of stuff together, kind of support each other, always sharing each other on social media. And it's a good movement coming up, especially with like city culture and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think as a band as well, we're very proud of being from Bradford, and I think most people that you talk to in Bradford are proud of being, you know, from Bradford. They're proud of the communities and they're proud of who they are as people. But I think as well, you know, Bradford's it's one of the most deprived cities in the UK. I think there was a 2021 report that we read that was a third of children growing up in Bradford living in poverty, and that's obviously, you know, it's a harrowing statistic, and it's, you know, the people of Bradford deserve a lot better.
Lost in the lands, in the lands, in the lands that divide. I'm coughing up blood on the crisp white sheets of a welfare cut. Try my luck, but the ink won't smudge. So I see 2 fingers up, shouting out that enough is enough. Cause you're a liar, you preach to the choir. We're dancing in our chains in the flames of the fire. Now you're out of time, the fear's in your eyes.
Divide, I think, has been a bit of a changing point for us, just because it's the type of music that we're playing is quite different now compared to the earlier stuff we wrote, and I think it's more relevant. People are sort of clicking with it a bit more compared to the stuff that we wrote in the early sort of stages of our musical journeys.
It was just sat in front of my iPad, playing into my iPad on GarageBand, and I just wrote everything, the whole thing basically, and then sent it to John, and he was like, I like this, I've got the lyrics, I'll fit this, and that's basically how it was born.
In terms of Divide being like a punk song and being a protest song and being about poverty and austerity and things like that, I think we really wanted to do something with this gig that was going to be in kind of the tradition of punk music, about punching upwards, about standing up for oppressed people and promoting grassroots movements and helping community and stuff like that. And I think Wanting to Well provided a wonderful opportunity to kind of help us do that, really, because it's obviously an anarchist venue run by volunteers. It does a lot of grassroots activism kind of stuff, and they offered to let us use their performance room to put this gig on, and then we didn't really know what, that was kind of in the early stages, so we got the venue sorted for the gig, and then we sort of thought, what can we do with this gig that's a little bit different?
ACORN is a community grassroots union that's empowering working class people to basically fight for a better quality of life in their communities. And we think that they're doing great work in Bradford, so we're trying to fundraise a bit of money for them. So all the ticket revenue from tonight is going towards them, so you guys are contributing. So thank you very much.
all ticket revenues go into ACORN tonight, and then any money that's made on the bar is kept by 1 in 12. But that's a good, it's a good cause as well. 1 in 12 use their money for a lot of good things and to run their venue as well. So I think the two groups that are benefiting are 1 in 12 and ACORN, and they're both groups that are doing a lot of good work in Bradford's community. So yeah, so I think if it's a success, it'll raise a lot of money for good causes, which is really nice.